In today's video, I'll be sharing with you a review and walkthrough of Kittl. Now, quick side note, we are currently having a huge 2-week long sale on the LCB Vault. The LCB Vault is our main course all about low content book publishing. Now this sale will end on Friday the 2nd of June at 9 PM GMT. If this is something that you're interested in, then there will be a link down in the description. So, on with Kittl. Now if you don't know what Kittl is, it's kind of like Canva, very similar, but some things are better than Canva and some not so much. Now what I'm going to do in this video is run through Kittl so you can see what it's like. Then later on in the video we're going to check out some of the features, we'll take a quick look at the licensing and also the pricing as well. Now, if you want to check out Kittl at all, there will be a link down in the description. Disclaimer, it is an affiliate link, so if you do decide to purchase, I will make a small commission. So, now once you've signed into Kittl, whether that's with a free account or a paid account, you're going to be taken to this just here. This is where you can create all of your designs. Now what we're going to do is just run through the features in here, and then we're going to look at the design dashboard as well. Now right off the bat, up here is where you get to create a new project. You can do that up here. You can also do that just here as well. Then you have My Projects. Now My Projects is actually going to take you to this dashboard. Then up here you can hover over the S. It'll probably be something different for you. Mine is S because it's obviously stacking profit. But from here you can check out your profile, you can check out your account settings, you can check out your subscription, your news feed, and also earn credits. And this is where you can enable dark mode as well, and that's what I've currently got mine on. Now over here you can check out published, so if we click on here we can see that I actually have nothing published as of yet. If you have something published, that means it's open to the public, so they can take a look at your designs and use it as a template. Now from here you can check out bookmarks as well, so when you're actually looking at other templates, we are going to go through that as well. You can bookmark them and save them here, and then you also have your trash. Now if we go back over to projects, I know you can't see My Projects just here. I wanted to blur that out because I've been using this quite a lot recently, and I have designs which obviously I don't actually want you to see. Now from here as well, on the left hand side, is where you can upload your own image. You can change the name of your account just here. Mine's Stacking Profit, and I'm at Stacking Profit as well. You can see your followers, and from here we can see the United Kingdom. You can add an Instagram URL and your own website URL as well. Right down here will be a link to your profile. Now right up the top we actually have templates, so if we open that up in a new tab, this is where you can go through and look at all the different templates which are on Kittl. Now you can use the search bar just here, or you can filter through hashtags. Now if we scroll through some of these, we can see all the different templates which are available. So if I clicked on one of these, I could go through and then edit that template. Now from here there's also inspiration. So if we click on here, you can actually go through and look at animal logos, badge logos, coffee logos, and many more as well. Then there's also resources. So on resources there's About Kittl, AI Prompt Book, tutorials, their blog, the Vintage Hub, the licensing, the help section, contact, and also affiliates. Now let's go back over to here, and now let's go ahead and take a look at the design interface. So when we go to create a new project, again, we can do that just here. So we're going to click on there, and this is where you put in the dimensions for whatever it is that you're going to create. Now with me, I do lots of colouring books and things like that. So what we're going to do is change this to inches, then we're going to change this to 8.5, and then this to 11. We're also going to change the DPI to 300, and then we're going to click create. Now if we look here, we have all of these different dimensions that we can also use. But again, we're going to go with 8.5 times 11, and now we have that just here. So as you can see, it's just like most design softwares. Now up here is where we have settings. So if we click on there, it's going to bring up the different sizes just there, and this is where we can custom change the size as well. Then there's trim view and also show grid. If we click on show grid, it pulls up a grid just there. Now we also have the option to share your design, so you can do that on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Pinterest, and you can also grab the link. You can also grab a copy of your project, or this is where you can publish the project or your design to the community, which means if we've created something which we want to share with the community as a template as well, we can click on there, click publish, and then if we go back, it's also going to show up here in that published section just here. Now they also have mock-ups, which is perfect for anything related to t-shirts and things like that. If we look right here on the left hand side, we have all of these different mock-ups just there. Now we're not going to use that, so let's go back to editor. That's the top part. Again, if we click on this bit up here, this is just all the account information. Now over here on the left hand side is where we have a few different options. We have my projects, so right here is where it's going to show all the projects that you've created. Now I'm obviously not going to go into my projects. You've also got folders. So one thing I missed, if we go back over to here and go back to my projects, just here is add folder. So we can click on here, create folder, and then you can add whichever one of your projects to that folder. It's just a great way to keep things more organized. Now on the next level down, we have templates. So there's lots of different templates here that you can go through and adjust and modify to how you please. You can filter this through logo, cards, t-shirts, labels, posters and socials. Now you can also just search. So if you wanted to search for something, let's say dog, you can type that in. You're going to get some options and then it's going to pull them up just here. Again, there's so many different templates that you can use. Then there's the text option. All of these different text templates as well, you can click on them and then you can adjust them. We're just going to take that off. You can add a paragraph, add a headline as well. So if we click on there, we now got the text. Now over here on the right hand side is where you can do some pretty cool stuff. Now because I like creating colouring pages and things like that, what we're actually going to do is just adjust this so it looks more like something that someone can colour in. So what we're going to do is just change the colour. So on this circle just here is where you can play around with all the different colours. We're going to change this to white, like so. Then we're going to change the border colour to black. And then we're just going to increase the border weight. So let's do this a few more times, like so. Just do that a little bit more. And that's how we'd want it within a colouring book or a colouring page. Now right here you can play around with this to centre it and things like that. If we go here, this is where we have access to lots of different fonts that we can use. Now you can also upload your fonts by clicking on here and then going through the process. That's if you've already got a font on your own device, but that's what I like to do with my own fonts as well. I like to get fonts from Creative Fabrica and then upload them into here. So if we click on this one, we can now see that looks like something that someone could colour in. Now obviously there's going to be a lot more effort that goes into creating a colouring page, but I just want to show you what's possible. Now right here we can play around with the font size. We can also play around with the letter spacing and also line height as well. Then we can center, move to the left, move to the right. If we click on here, it's not going to show you because I have the wrong font, but this is for uppercase and lowercase. So if we go onto a normal one like this, if we click on there, it's now uppercase, which makes things so much easier. Now let's go back to that try new sans. So that's that part. But this is the part which I really like. This is where we can play around with the font. Now they already have a few custom transformations that you can use. First one being the custom, and if we look at these little points, we can actually move these around. So this is something that you can't actually do within Canva, and which I absolutely love, because if I'm designing a colouring page, I can now fit the words on the page around whatever it is that I want on the colouring page. So this is just really great. Now let's just go back a little bit like so to there. We can use the custom, we can use distort. So this is my favourite one, the distort, because now once that's enabled, watch this, we can take that centre, we can move that up, we can play around with this and get it to how we want. So again, this is just perfect for creating colouring pages, and one of the main reasons that I personally love Kittl. Now I'm not going to go too much in depth with this because I do actually plan on doing a lot of individual tutorials for Kittl over the next few weeks. I just want to give you an idea of what's actually possible with Kittl. Now let's go ahead and click on one of these. We have this circle one, which is pretty good as well. We have angle, arc, this is a good one as well. Again, you can play around with it like so. Let's just put that back. Now with this one, we can actually play around with the curve as well, as we can see. We can click on rise, that's a good one, wave, and also flag. So again, this is just one of the main reasons that I love Kittl, because we can upload our own fonts and then we can stretch out the fonts when we're creating colouring pages. Now they do also have effects just here, so they have things for shading, as we can see. This right here will just play around with the offset and the blurriness and things like that. If we click on this one, we have more of a drop shadow and more shadowing as well. Now right here is where we can play around with the colours, so we could change that to red or however we please. Now that's the effects up the top. They also have decoration, so if we click on this, we can play around with that. We can play around with this one, which again, this is actually great for creating covers for your colouring books. We can play around with that one and also this one. This one I really like. And again, just here where it says colour, we can play around with the colour. So that's everything to do with fonts. And again, one of the reasons why I absolutely love Kittl. Now over here again, they have elements. Now if I remember correctly, if you have a free account with Kittl, I think you have to credit Kittl when using their graphics. If you have a pro account, then you don't have to do that. Now over here they have lots of different elements and cool things that you can use. They have basic shapes, masks, which in Canva is known as frames. Then they have banners, badges, complex shapes, abstract, and so many more. You can filter through shapes, ornaments, which is great for when you're creating interiors, illustrations, and also abstract. And again, they have the search bar just here, so you can search for whatever it is that you need. If I type in dog, we're going to get lots of dog graphics. Then there's the upload section. Now I am going to blur this part out as well because I have some things of my own in there. But this is where you would upload your own graphics and things like that. Anything that you want to use in your designs. Then they also have photos just here. So if we click on there, they have a lot of photos, again with the search bar. Then they also have textures, which you can play around with in your designs as well. And also Kittl AI. Now I'm not going to go too much in depth with the Kittl AI. They have lots of great things, but again I do actually plan on doing individual videos on all of the AI things that they have. And in a minute, I am going to share with you and show you all of those features. But that's everything here on the left hand side. We can now close that like so. Now right down here, this is something that you're going to want to familiarize with, and this is shortcuts. So this is all the keyboard shortcuts that you can use here in Kittl, and they save so much time. They also have a help section just here. This is where we zoom in on the designs, or we can zoom out. This is where we can undo what we've done or redo what we previously did as well. Then they have a few other options down here. Now again, this is just a quick walkthrough and review showing you what Kittl actually looks like, but in the near future I do plan on making a lot more videos about Kittl, just because I absolutely love this program. I'm personally using Kittl in combination with Canva because they both have their perks, or should I say they both have their pros and they both have their cons, but together they work really well. Now up here, let's say we've created a design which we want to download. We can then click on download up here. We can choose to download a size, but we're not going to do that. If we were going to download something, we'd just keep this the same. We could increase the DPI. Now anything related to printing always needs to be 300 DPI, so that's why we have that just here. Now we also have the option to remove background. I believe that's a pro feature. We can also optimize quality, but then we have the option to download as a PNG, PDF, JPEG, and also SVG. So now if I wanted to download this because this was the finished product, I'd click PNG and then it would just download like that. So that's everything in here in the design part of the software. A quick walkthrough and review so you can see what everything looks like. Now I just want to go over some of the features really quick, and then we'll check out the pricing nearer the end. So some of these features are pretty cool. I've only played around with a couple, but once I play around with them more, I will create more videos on each of these individual features that they have. Now the first one is this, which is their text to image AI. Now if we just scroll through the page so we can take a quick look, it integrates with your design process. You can generate vector logo icons as well. You can create stunning merch designs. You can remove backgrounds with one click. You can use mock-ups in real time as well. Now this wasn't actually their AI text to image. This is more of an overview of the Kittl AI, and as you can see they have quite a few different ones. If we move on to the next tab, they have AI text to vector. So this is one which I think is pretty cool, and again I will create some videos about this nearer in the future. Now if we scroll through, it's just going to show us a lot of the same stuff which it showed us a minute ago, but their AI text to vector is actually pretty cool. Then we have their free text to image AI generator as well. So this is going to be very similar to like Midjourney and those types of softwares. Then there's also their AI background remover, where you can get a transparent background for any image. Then they also have their free mockup generator, which I did show you earlier on in the video. They also have their use of premium fonts for free in Kittl. So I showed you a few of their fonts, but if you're anything like me, I like to purchase my own fonts. Well, I actually have a subscription with Creative Fabrica, which allows me to download all the fonts that I like and want to use, and then I can just upload them here in Kittl and use them in my designs. Then they also have their text effects with Kittl as well. So this is another thing which I do plan on making more videos around as well. But you did actually see some of this in the video, because as we can see here on the right hand side, this is to do with all the effects that you can actually do with Kittl in regards to shaping and stretching your fonts. Then there's also the text effects, which I also shared with you as well. But then they also have add textures to your designs. I talked a little bit about this, but again, this is something that I will do more videos on. Then there's also best text layouts with one click in Kittl. So these are those text templates which I also shared as well. And then this one, which is pretty cool, which is a free vector illustrations in Kittl as well. So as we can see, there's a lot of different features within Kittl. Now when it comes to the pricing, there's actually a few different options. There's the free option, the pro version, the expert version, and also business as well. Now it recommends expert, but I personally have the pro, and it's perfect for everything that I want to do. Now with the free version, you get 15 credits. So this is what you need for using like the AI things. You can have 20 projects, 50 megabytes of upload space, low-res image export, which really isn't that great, but also commercial license, but it does require attribution when you use any Kittl elements. Then with the pro version, the one that I got, it's £10 per month if you pay yearly. If you pay monthly like I do, then it's $15 per month. You get 20 credits, up to 100 projects, 1 gigabyte of upload space, unlimited vector exports, all premium templates, and full commercial license with no attribution needed whatsoever. Then with the expert, you get 100 Kittl credits, unlimited projects, 10 gigabytes of upload space, unlimited vector exports, all premium templates, and obviously that full commercial license. Then there's the business one. So again, you can play around with just the free version, get a feel for it, play around with it, and see if you want to play with it. Again, I'm personally actually using this in combination with Canva to create my designs, and I do have some videos coming out about that as well. Now again, if you do want to check this out, there will be a link down in the description. Now the last thing which I am going to link down in the description as well, and that's the licensing agreement. I highly recommend coming through, having a little read, so you can understand what you can and can't do. It says right here in English what you can do and what you can't do. So permitted use, which means this is what you are allowed to do. You are allowed to use designs in the following ways. You can use it for own personal projects or own commercial projects. You can use for multiple clients and multiple projects. You can use for physical end products as well, as rasterized images as part of digital products as well, and as rasterized images for websites, apps, video games, and so on. What you can't do is compete with Kittl's business. You can't claim rights to register designs, and you can't mislead the Kittl community if designs were created with AI features. Now again, I highly suggest coming through and having a little read of this. If you're using it just like me for designing colouring pages, not really using the elements, but using the fonts and your own fonts at that, then there shouldn't be any issues when selling your colouring pages. Now again, I am going to link this down in the description so you can come through and have a little read. And there also will be a link if you want to come through and sign up. Disclaimer again, if you do decide to purchase, then I will make a small commission. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, go hit subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you can be notified for any further videos. And to watch the rest of my Kittl videos, if this is now an older video, then click right here and watch this playlist.